First of all, thank you very much for logging into this little webinar we're doing on a new product, which is called Trimble SiteVision. My name is Tor Erik Djupos, or Ted, as most people call me, and I'm sitting here today with my colleague, Mariana Kopsida. We both work for Trimble, and we're going to take you through these a few information about this new product. We put together a little overview of what we're going to talk about, and I will start off with a product overview of kind of what SiteVision is. Talk a little bit about how we put this program or this product together, because it's been done slightly different than what we normally do. Then Mariana will talk a little bit about how to use SiteVision, so use cases and the various applications that we can take this product into. And then we will end up or finish off this presentation talking about the system components that is being used for the product. We're quite a lot of people onto this webinar, so if you have questions, feel free to write these into the chat window, and then at the end of the presentation we will try to address them there. For those questions that we might not be able to answer, we have all the questions, and we will get back to each one of you individually on the potential question that you may have. Okay, let's start. So I'm sure many of you have seen this handheld device with an antenna on top and a mobile phone, and I'm also sure that most of you that logs into this webinar have an idea what SiteVision is. But what we will try to go through now is what really is SiteVision, what's the details behind this product. Well, in its very simple form, SiteVision is a high accuracy outdoor visualization tool that can be used for viewing spatial data. So in effect, you can take digital data and you can blend this in the real environment that's around you. So very much you can see pictures, you can see information similar to what you see on this picture. So it gives your spatial data a new context and a new kind of way of looking at the data that you have. There is a few of these augmented reality systems out there today. What's special with the SiteVision system is that we have integrated and high accuracy GNSS receiver or survey grade RTK receiver into the augmented reality system. And this gives the effect of getting very, very good accuracy on the models, but also getting very stable models in terms of what they're doing. So it's not only using the camera side of it for the tracking. So it's a very good system for that. Now, you can take traditional data, and most people who work with this type of data know that historically we've always been producing paper maps or paper drawings, and so we moved on from that. We could take this into digital form, and we can take this data with us out in, for example, a data logger, and go out in the field and view it. What SiteVision gives you is kind of merge these two systems together, and it gives you that capability to import this data and view it in its real environment. You can actually see what's there, and you can see that digital data overlay. We think this is a quite exciting way of looking at data. It's a new way, and it gives your data a different context to maybe what you've been seeing before. But at the same time, it's probably also a lot easier to understand the data, interpret the value of what it is. We can also go and utilize the attribute information. So for example, if you have a model like you see here, you can go in and you can click on the various information, and it shows up the attribute information that is within the data. We can also use that attribute information itself to, for example, model the data that you want to see. So in this case, the utility could simply be a CAD line. But by going in and reading the attribute information that sits there, so for example, we might read an attribute saying that this is a pipe, and we can read the attribute information saying that this is a water pipe and it has a certain diameter. And then we can, by setting up various types of scripting rules, we can then model the data online, and it can make it look like what you see here. So you have different capabilities in terms of how to present the data that you are using. Now, another unique thing, of course, with this is that you're not only just imposing a digital image onto the screen, you're actually having the model there, and you can walk around it. You can see it, and you can see it from various type of perspectives. So by placing the model somewhere, you can then walk around and you can see what it might look like if you build something there, or what it may look like if there's something that's hidden, and so on. So it's a very neat way of seeing the data and how it might be in the coming world. Now, SiteVision certainly gives you as a customer the capability to visualize the data, and by having better visualization of the data, you can also get better collaboration data, so better understanding of the data. And by having better collaboration of the data, it will also give you better functionality for reporting it and using the data further on in the process. Now, just as well as you can use the SiteVision system as a standalone tool, we also see the SiteVision system very much as a complementary tool to some of the tools you're already using. So, for example, in terms of creating models you would view, you have your total station, you have your GNSS receiver or laser scanner, you collect your data, and then you take this into one of many software packages such as TBC, AutoCAD, Esri, SketchUp, Tekla, and many more. And here you then produce your drawing, and historically these drawings will then go out again on the paper side of things or in a digital side of how to use it. By then applying SiteVision to it, you can now view these data in a very new way, which again really helps people understand the data better. And of course, whenever somebody understands the data better, the whole ability to take decisions will also improve in terms of what you do. So why SiteVision in such a way? Well, some of the tangible project impacts you may have on using this is some of the benefits that comes with it. By simply understanding the data better, you can, for example, shorten the project schedules, reduce the project risk, and of course reduce product costs, and hopefully also by having that better understanding of it, increase the project quality. We do believe that seeing is believing in many ways. So by seeing data, as human being walks around, we see things in the 3D world every day, what we do, and then having the capability to take that 3D data into kind of the same world we view and take it away from just a 2D viewing, you have a much better context of what you're seeing and how you see it. In terms of how we have developed SiteVision, it has followed a slightly different path compared to how we normally do it with our other products. SiteVision has in many cases been a very open development. It means that you as customers probably already seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn or videos on YouTube and so on, which, you know, as I said, we've done very openly. The way we've done it is we've had an internal process that we've gone through on kind of making the core side of it. And then we invited a number of customers that's gone through what we call an early experience program. So we had over 40 customers from various industries all over the world. And I have to say that this program was very popular and rather oversubscribed. So we've been busy with that. But we've tried to pick a number of users from various types of industries: landscape architects, building contractors, surveyors, civil engineers, utilities, and also try to get a good blend from the various regions around the world. And we do feel that we've gotten a very good feedback from all these users. And in many ways, the first version of SiteVision that will come out is really a reflection on all the feedback we got from these users and how they could see, and utilize this product going forward. That was a little bit about an introduction of SiteVision in that sense. I'm going to hand it over to Mariana, and she will talk a little bit more about the use cases and some of the applications experiences, both of what we have done and maybe how we go forward with this.
Thank you very much, Ted. So we have talked about SiteVision. What is SiteVision? And we have said that by utilizing this kind of technology, you can have better data interpretation, hence better decision making that has some impacts on the whole project. So now we will talk more about the cases. I'm sure while we were going through the presentation, you have thought of many other ways that this product can be applicable for your workflows. But this presentation will focus in the main workflows that SiteVision targets, which are the underground infrastructure, where you can see the hidden above ground structures, where you can see the future and what the bridge will look like, where you can communicate that to your customer. You can, of course, see on-ground surfaces, TTM models, where you can see the progress of earthworks. And of course, you can see in-ground line work, such as boundaries among neighbors or landscapes. So now we will go through these applications in more detail. We will also display some visuals so that you can also understand a bit more about these use cases. Here you can see the underground infrastructure. So by having this ability, we can see the infrastructure without breaking the ground. We can also verify design and placement of new lines quite easily. We can, of course, avoid conflicts and unwanted intersections before digging, which help with safety hazards, and map out network ahead of project execution. Here is a video of how you have the data displayed on your SiteVision device. This is an underground facility. You see the projection here on the ground. As we have described, you can also see the attributes. You can, of course, hide and unhide layers. So depending on the layers that you have assigned to your model, you can utilize this functionality for better data visualization. And here you can use the pit view. You can set it at a specific position, and you can see your data and your model, how it looks like in the underground. You can, of course, as Ted mentioned, use different color coded that can assist that visualization impact. But as we mentioned, it's also about collaboration. So you can capture this mixed reality photo with the real environment and your model, and you can assign this as a task to a colleague of yours, or you can use it as reporting. So if you find something that doesn't make sense, you can grab the photo and you can save it in the cloud where your team has access to it. And of course, as we mentioned, we can also see the above ground structures. One example of this is the residential design review. With SiteVision, we can communicate to the customer what is planned. You can also show to the customer what their house will look like in the future. You can navigate, you can walk around, and even if you want, you can go inside and check how the new kitchen will look like. It's also used for other stakeholders, of course, like neighbors, to understand what will be built and answer questions such, will my view be obstructed or not? This is another example where, as Ted mentioned, sometimes 2D drawings can be complicated. It gives a better understanding if you have that visualization in 3D, and especially at the right environment. Another case is the construction inspection. So you can take your data and see what will come in the future. You can also familiarize staff with the site. You can view changes to the construction plans before they happen. It can be used for safety reasons as well, to simulate evacuation and emergency routes, confirm and verify structure, and it can also be used for inspection purposes here as well, either progress or quality control inspection. So you have the model is placed at the right environment, so you can check if an object is at the right position. If it is the right object, you can check the attributes. And of course, if you have a 4D model there, you can check if you are going according to the plan. Here again, we have another video with examples from the construction industry. You can see the building displayed at the right position. You can use the opacity if it helps you understand better your surroundings. You can then use it for checking if you have done your task correctly. You can also use this cross-section, so you have that kind of control of the length of the structure that you want to see. Here it is used to check if I have done my foundation correctly. And of course, it can be used for really big structures, as you can see here with bridges. And again, it's about collaborating and communicating that to your customer or to other stakeholders. Another use case for SiteVision is energy and how we can use it to assess best location to place solar panels or transmission towers. We can use it to determine visual impact in the project area. We can measure cut fill required to support placement of structures. And of course, we can use it to compare existing infrastructure to original model for repair and maintenance. This is another example of how you can check the impact with solar panels placement. SiteVision can be used for any outdoor activities and any outdoor visualization, such as landscape design. So you can, again, take the model or use different scenarios, take that to your customer, and with your customer, you can check what your new garden will look like, or check different designs. But as we mentioned, SiteVision can also be used in earthworks or autonomous sites. In general, on Tekla sites, contractors have no reference stakes or information. It's only digital. So with SiteVision, they can plan and manage earthworks easily by viewing a map, how much cut, how much fill, and what's on grade. From the early experience program, we have learned that Trimble have a good impact on such workflows, and it was something quite exciting for our customers. We have also included a video with such a model. So we have displayed a TTM model here where we can see the earthworks. Again, by using the opacity, it helps us understand if we are on schedule regarding earthworks, how much cut fill more we need to do, etc., etc. And lastly, we mentioned that we can visualize boundaries and communicate that with property agents or cadastral survey. But another advantage of SiteVision is to check the integrity of our data. Is our data good? Is our data correct? So we go out, we survey, we create models, DWGs, whatever format, but we don't know if they're actually correct. So we can take, with SiteVision, this data set outside and check if we have modeled it correctly.
Thank you very much for that, Mariana. on the last part of this presentation, we're going to go through the system components that SiteVision is built up for. So in other words, if you look at this product, what exactly is what is it consist of? And again, very shortly, SiteVision is a combination of hardware and software. So first of all, it contains a handheld device, very much the one you see on the left here. This is a hardware where you basically hold it, and it also contained a small EDM for taking measurements. Then we have built in our Trimble Catalyst antenna, our GNSS antenna, that's built into that hardware side of it. On the software element, you need the SiteVision application. This is a purpose-made application made by us, which is the one you're running to actually visualize the data you do. And last but not least, you need a mobile phone. And in this case, we're using a standard open market mobile phone for the visualization. The phone we're using and the system we're using is an Android system. It runs on Android 9 as of today. And it will then come with various ways on how you can attach that phone correctly to the bracket and how you use it. In terms of the SiteVision key features, going back to that hardware and software side, as I say, we're using our Trimble Catalyst GNSS engine. So this is our software GNSS engine that we have built into the SiteVision app. So basically, the SiteVision app will contain an RTK receiver, and it's then connected to the Catalyst antenna. The bit that actually do the AR side of this is Google's AR core technology. This is the technology that do the augmented reality side of this product. We have then integrated our Trimble Catalyst side into this, and together is what kind of doing up the bulk part of this. But with it, you also get Trimble correction service or Trimble correctors. So anybody that's using this will get a package where everything is included, including the corrector services that comes with it, specifically if you are in a Trimble BRS Now environment. And this, of course, is also compatible with a wide range of both Trimble and open standard file formats. We're also using something which is called Trimble Connect, and Trimble Connect is it's a cloud service. It's a cross-divisional cloud service that all the various divisions in Trimble is using. And it's not only a place where we place our SiteVision data, it is a collaboration platform for many other things too. So this is kind of a common tools that we're using for many other things. And then so far, we've been really talking about SiteVision as a visualization tool, and that is absolutely what it is. But it also has some extra functionality to it, such as the capability to take measurements. We have an EDM in there, so we can take distance measurements. You can put it on a survey pole. You have that capability to measure points, put in codes, put in antenna heights, and then store these type of instruments. You can also use the AR core itself for taking measurements to a model. So in this case, you can measure between the real world and a model. You can measure between model and model, and you can also measure between the real world and the real world. And all these measurements can be synchronized back to the cloud service again, and then you can also take that back into the Office software. So it's a little bit more than just viewing the data. You also have the capability to capture and log data as you are out working with it. The process in general for working with the SiteVision is a bit like what you see on the screen here. So you will have in some way the tools to capture your data, which is typically done either with a GNSS receiver, a total station, a laser scanner. You will then build your model, and a model doesn't necessarily have to be a structure. A model can be a topo survey, it can be an underground utility, as well as a structure. And you then process it and you prepare your data. And of course, SiteVision is first and foremost an outdoor tool, and it uses GNSS. So your data, of course, needs to be able to kind of be placed into a GNSS world. You then upload this data into Trimble Connect. Here you can create projects, you can create subfolders, and you can organize the data that is best fit for the project that you want to do. And it will then go through a little process where it's kind of processing the data. And when it's ready, you can go out with your SiteVision kit, or you can tell a representative of your crew to simply start up, and it will then visualize it. So we're using Trimble Connect as the holding place for the data, and when we visualize the data through SiteVision, it visualizes the data from our Trimble Connect side. And of course, that also goes the other way. So any data you either collect or any to-dos you create can then be reported back the same way as it came from. In terms of data and data formats, we do believe that we already support a fair amount of formats for this. We do have our own formats, the Trimble specific ones, such as SketchUp and Trimble Business Center. So there will be a specific export functionality from TBC that takes data directly into SiteVision in various forms. But things like TTMs, Vision Link will be able to visualize. But we also support a number of open industry standard formats, such as land XMLs and S3 shapefiles, which is good for the underground utility, IFC files for structures, AutoCAD, DWG, and you can also utilize images. So, for example, if you're using surfaces and you have particular cut fill maps, heat maps, contours, these type of things, they can all be put on top of this. And then again, when you go out, you will be able to visualize and see the data accordingly for how it is. And then towards we're coming to towards the end of this presentation, we also want to say that SiteVision is very much a product that also fit into the generic ecosystem of Trimble, of other Trimble products, and how we work with them. You can of course get your data from other third-party suppliers, sources, but in very much what we do, we also try to make sure that all the products is then fitting into the whole workflow of how it is. So in this case, you might get your model from a Tekla side or somewhere else. You can directly upload that to Trimble Connect and send it out. Alternative, you might get a model that maybe doesn't have its coordinates right. You can then either go and survey where it needs to be, you can move the model in TBC, you can go and set it out in Trimble Access, and you can then take this further on and you can visualize it in Trimble SiteVision. So it's very much a part of an ecosystem of how a product can live among the other products and how data can flow pretty effortless around the system. Then we come to the summarized side of this. As we said, Trimble SiteVision, a new product, very soon to be released. It gives you that capability of visualizing spatial data in a new way. It takes digital data and it overlays this into the real world. Hopefully, this will also give a customer a better way of visualizing data, a different way. Hopefully also give you a more cleaner way to see the data for doing collaboration and things like that. So we're very excited to get this product out properly. So what's the next step when it comes to this? For those of you who have seen this presentation and think that this is a product that you're interested in and to learn a little bit more about, or maybe get a demonstration, we would say that you should contact your local Corec representative. They will very much be able to schedule a potential demonstration and a potential way to see the product more in a live environment. I don't think presentations like this do the product just. It's really something that's far better seen live, and you will also get a lot more of the details. So again, if you think that this is something that will be useful for you and your company, get in touch with Corec. They will be able to handle that and then get the ball rolling for having a closer look at the product. This will actually then conclude our first part of this webinar. We are more than happy to take some questions for those of you who have written in. So I'm just going to go in here and have a look at the question that's come in and see what these questions are. If you have any, just type them in and we will try to go through them as best here. So the first one I can see here is how accurate is it? So we're using an RTK receiver. So the general accuracy is typical RTK. So I will say a few centimeters, 2, 3, 4 centimeters, depending on the environment you're operating is. Those of you who've been working with RTK knows that this can vary slightly, but it's that type of accuracy. If you don't use it with the GNSS, you only use it with the cameras, it will be less accurate. The next one is, will SketchUp models bring textures into SiteVision model? I'm not entirely sure, Robert. I need to check that one and we will get back to you on that one.
So it depends on how you visualize the models on Trimble Connect. So if on Trimble Connect you can visualize textures on the web version, then you will be able to visualize that on SiteVision as well.
Can this be used to show IFC models or rebar and be used to verify location or rebar or embedded elements, e.g. plans, half and rails, box outs, etc.?
I think that yes, so we have loaded a model with rebars and you can use that to verify. The verification, of course, will be manual with a visual inspection, but you will have the data there. So if the accuracy that you need is within the accuracy that the SiteVision provides and within the range that Ted mentioned, then you will be able to do that.
Okay. Can SiteVision access the phone GPS for lower accuracy viewing? No, not at this moment in time. If we already have a Trimble VRS subscription with other GNSS equipment, can that be used with a catalyst to provide network RTK corrections? Yes, there's two ways you can get the data, the corrections into SiteVision. One is what we call the Trimble Correction Hub. This will be the default, but you can also go and configure an N-trip stream. So you can go in and configure and set up a different connection with the normal way you would do in the survey receiver. So for example, your VRS corrections and these things can be set up. So that's fully possible. The next one is, what is the battery life like? So with the kit will come an internal battery into the bracket at the bottom, and I believe the battery life is around 3 hours continuously use. You can just click it and you can put a new one in. It will not then use the battery of the phone, so the phone will have its own battery life on that. So this will feed the catalyst side of it, so that will go. What is the cost of it? We're not quite ready for that one, as I say. Get in touch with the nearest Corec representative, and then we can have that. So we're in the final stage of getting this product ready, and we get it from there. If there's anybody having any more questions, feel free to tap them through. I think we've gone through all of them so far. How heavy is it? Ooh, it's I don't have the weight of it, but it's easily carrying around. It's a little bit heavier than a mobile phone, I would say. Yeah, it's light. It's not heavy at all. Okay. If there isn't any more questions, and at this moment in time there isn't anything, I will, as I say, if anybody has more questions and things like that, feel free to reach out to us. We're more than happy to look at this, and also the correct people are there. So at this moment, I just want to say thank you again very much for attending the webinar, and yeah, hope you will have a good day forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.